funds put in place have internal control policies and systems, such as the internal audit units as provided under Section 155.5 of the PFM Act, and the risk management policy as provided under Regulation 158.1 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation 2015, among other policies to guide the internal operations of the fund within 90 days from the date of this meeting. Further, the management to submit evidence of the same to the Auditor General for verification. All policies to be presented to the board for approval. So this is in line with the queries to do with the lack of a risk management policy, lack of internal audit unit. And this is in reference to the reports we are looking for. That is from 2019 to June 2022. Number two, the committee notes that the bursary amounting to 5,204,099 shillings was advanced to 329 students whose admission numbers were not provided for verification in the period 2019-2020. The committee further notes that the county government of Nyandarua, the current county government of Nyandarua, has written letters to the beneficiary schools requesting them to provide the admission numbers of the said beneficiaries. The committee therefore directs the governor through the CEC member in charge of finance submit to the committee and the Auditor General for verification responses to the letters, to those letters within 30 days from the date of this meeting. The Auditor General to verify the submission within 7 days from the date of receipt and file a report with the committee. So basically we are talking about another 7 days after you have received the response from the county. Number three, the committee observes that the Nyandarua County Bursary Fund had 2 operational bank accounts, yet the operations of the fund could have been economically carried out through a single account. The committee therefore directs the governor through the CEC member in charge of finance to close one of the bank accounts and ensure that all operations of the bursary fund are done through one bank account. Further, the county executive committee member in charge of finance should submit evidence of closure of one of the bank accounts to the committee and to the Auditor General for audit verification. Number four, the CEC member in charge of finance with the regulation 42.1b of the PFM County Government Regulation 2015 on exerting budgetary control measures such as undertaking supplementary budgets to align the revenue received with the expenditure. And lastly, the committee directs the governor through the CEC member in charge of finance to take administrative action against the officers responsible for maintaining accounting records of the Nyandarua Bursary Fund for failure to maintain proper accounting records for the year 2020-2021. And then lastly, the direction I had given that the committee will look at, through its secretariat, will look at the queries which have not been discussed, prepare fiduciary risk reports, and on the basis of that, the committee will make the way forward regarding how those queries will be handled. And that decision will also be made alongside the decision on bursaries to 329 students make a decision on what to do with that. And one of the decisions could be in line with the Article 125 of the Constitution, which says the former officials could be compelled to appear before the committee to respond to matters that the committee requires answers. So, honorable members, that is the interim recommendations. This recommendation will be sent to Governor in writing and copied to the Senate. And as I said, these are just the immediate things that needs to be done as we await for the tabling of the report and the debating of the report in the Senate. So, honorable members, we will now have closing remarks, and I hope not many members have closing remarks, but I will only allow the Senator for Nyandarua to make closing remarks, and then Governor, and then we close the meeting.
Thank you very much, Chair, and members of this committee for putting your best foot forward to ensure that we are able to peruse these books for these 3 funds, obviously not very exhaustively. And Honorable Chair, it was mentioned here, and I think it is fair that we say it, because when something is right, it is right. That it is fair that we thank the Governor of Nyandarua, because he has had not had a problem with the parliamentary committees in terms of his appearance. That is why I was a bit worried in the morning when he didn't want us to proceed. We have not had a problem with him. I'm a member of the Public Accounts Committee. He has appeared faithfully. He has appeared before my own committee. He has appeared before the Committee on Finance. He's now appearing here, I think, for the 2nd time. And I think it's a good thing, so that I always say it is not fair that you keep pushing us to push more monies to the counties. Just on Tuesday, we were debating, and I think today we are going to the Committee of the Whole, so that we push the monies that are going to the counties to 415 billion. The proposal by the National Assembly is to send 300, what has been passed by the National Assembly is 395 billion. But as defenders of devolution, we are working very hard to push monies there. So it should not then be a problem that we want to ask a few questions so that we're able to understand what is happening. Honorable Chair, I'm sure, and you've said it, that you prepare that fiduciary risk assessment so that you're able to make very good recommendations, especially on the emergency fund that we've not been able to look at exhaustively. And I think what I would want to pray, especially to the county executive, because they are here, there's this matter that has been raised by Senator Eddie, and I think it's something that, Excellency Governor, you need to take it very seriously. You know, right now, and you know, in reference to Schedule 4 of the Constitution, disaster management is a preserve of the county governments. Right now, we are grappling with the question of floods everywhere. Nyandarua is not spared either. I know Excellency Governor is receiving requests from many parts of the county, be it Kinangop, where River Karoroha has almost broken its banks, and many other parts of our county. But the more significant thing, what has been raised by Senator Eddie, which you must look at, and you must put your best foot forward, including your own CEC. There is no way that in this electricity bill, address the emergencies that before our counties most of the times. Honorable Chair, I do not intend to say anything more than that. We shall continue. We shall continue bringing oversight, and as the Senator for Nyandarua, my colleagues will know that I speak really very strongly about my county. So I want it to be a model in terms of what we are doing, in terms of the way we are spending our money, so that Auditor General, although it has been questioned here how Nyandarua ever got an unqualified report, so that in future we can be able to replicate, getting an unqualified report in the days to come. I wish you all governors will go back home. When you succeed, Nyandarua succeeds. When when Nyandarua succeeds, all of us have succeeded because we come from there. I wish you well. Asante sana.
Governor, your closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Chairman, honorable members of this committee, and everyone in the room today. I want to appreciate that we've had a very smooth meeting with a very tangible input from our auditor, who really took the time to come up with important issues that are going to help the government of the day and even in future. And that is why we are taking it very seriously. Where we are guided, we are going to take the guidance clearly, as I had said earlier, that the governments are run in perpetuity, and that is why I am supporting everything that was done properly by my predecessor, and those things that which are not correct, we need also to come together, correct them, so that we move. And as we wind up, I want to appreciate my senator. I want to appreciate him that he's also available. Whenever I go to any committee meeting, he's there in order to prosecute issues. He's also available on the ground. He's also available whenever Nyandarua is required. And that is why I'm very happy working with him as one of county leaders. And I also want to promise him that together we are going to take this county to the next level. Senator, I'm aware of the disaster issues taking place. In fact, we have an escarpment called Magumu towards Kenton. I've sent a team of disaster management today to go and prepare a report so that we can see the advisory that we are going to give to people, those sites. I've also sent the Department of Water team to go around and look at all the dams in Nyandarua because they are full to the brim, so that we see those ones which we need to also take precautions, like the ones which are above Huruma. You know, Huruma people have just built along the road, so that one we are taking care of. When it comes to this fund called emergency, honorable members, one thing I've seen good with the regulations that we are putting in place is that this fund has been exposed to the cabinet. In fact, what we are doing right now is that when an issue occurs, the administrator there goes there, take photos, interview the members, and prepare a report. That report comes to our offices, and the department involved prepares a cabinet memo so that whatever action we take in emergency is to be owned by the whole cabinet. This is to ensure that public money is not lost. Instead of maybe where a situation, money was just being decided by one person or two persons, right now we are following that procedure, and it has helped us to manage this fund. However, I still want to mention that though there are those areas mentioned in the fund, if eventualities keep on coming, like our emergency fund talks about paying a hospital bill. But you find a situation like last year when I lost 4 residents, which I required to bury. But when you look at that burial thing, it's not in the regulation. So we keep on adjusting in order to fit the situation, because there's an emergency. You cannot leave those people. They are helpless. And therefore, mine is to say that we keep on rearranging these emergency regulations. For the Senate, I want to appreciate you, the work you're doing. As I also draw your attention to what is happening in the country. 10 years down the line, we've been trying to fumble with the idea of a division of money. We as counties, for the last 10 years, we have realized, I see all the senators are so I would like to. So, Chair, allow me to mention this. The time has come, since counties are supported by Senate, it's high time now we begin rewarding production so that we attract even the investors from out there. There are people who are dealing with coffee in this country. There are people dealing with the tea. Others deal with the sugar. Others deal with pyrethrum and potatoes. It's high time that this Senate makes a point of dividing the money, this exchequer money, 50% goes to rewarding productivity, so that coffee increases in the country, it will create more employment, tea increases, sugar increases, and all that, so that the other bit can now be subdivided into equalization fund, into other things. Otherwise, if we take the whole lot of money, divided in terms of population, divided in terms of acreage of land, we are losing it. And I want to believe that Senate is going to help us in that. As I conclude, is just to say that Senate should not be worried. Right now, we have attached an auditor in every department. This is to ensure that whatever happens there is identified firsthand, corrected, so that even as the auditors are coming, we already have a preliminary report. This is to say that we adhere to your advices and your guidance, and we continue doing that. With those remarks, I beg to say thank you very much. Now we will be waiting for the report so that we can act on it accordingly. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Governor, Honorable Badilisha, for coming and agreeing to respond to the audit queries for your county, even though that particular period you are not the governor yet. That is the scenario we have found ourselves in, that because of the issue of perpetual succession, you find yourself responding to queries that were for the previous regime. But I want to say that Senate is working very hard. The two committees of Pick and Pack, we are working very hard to clear the backlog. In this committee, I think from June this year, we now start dealing with current issues so that you do not have an excuse when you come before us. We will start dealing with reports from the year ended June 2023. That is for water companies, for funds, and any other entity in the counties. And we hope that by the time we finish the 5-year mandate, we will have cleared with all the reports for Nyandarua County and other county government, so that when you leave office, someone else should not come and answer questions that you are supposed to answer. But we are saying that we are not saying that we cannot invite former governors to appear before us. Where there is compelling evidence that we need their presence, we will not shy away from inviting them, because Article 125 of the Constitution gives us the powers to do that, and even our Powers and Privileges Act, they give us the powers to do that. So as I've directed, we will wait for the report from our Secretariat and make a determination on the way forward, especially on matters of high fiduciary risk. But for now, Governor, the matter of emergency fund, we have noted that in most counties, counties are spending money on non-emergency items. If you feel an item is of an emergency nature, then that should be in your regulations, that should be in your act. We do not want to be told that someone in the county was hospitalized, incurred a bill, and that now becomes an emergency. That should not be the case. If that happens, that becomes an audit query. So we would want to have counties only paying for expenses which are emergency related, or that is as far as emergency fund is concerned. On bursaries, we have almost similar issues in all counties. Issues where bursaries have been awarded to beneficiaries and there are no acknowledgement letters from the benefiting institution. There is no document to support that particular students were paid for bursaries in various schools. We are grappling with that problem. Nyandarua is just one case. We have other cases in other counties. And this is a matter that we'll get to the bottom of it, so that to ensure that public money was utilized for the intended purpose, supporting the vulnerable children in paying bursaries. On the matter of car loans, we have also noted that there are similar challenges where mortgages and car loan were given out without any security, without any documentations. And that is against the law. That is a misappropriation of funds. Again, that is a matter that we are looking at as a committee. Our intention is to ensure that the public money is safeguarded in our counties. We have already dealt with the water companies. You appeared before us, Governor, on matters of water. We are going to finalize the issue of funds by mid this month, and then now we will start on the issue of level 4 and level 5 hospitals. So CEC for Health, if is not here, should be told to start preparing level 4 and level 5 hospitals, their audit reports. We will also have an opportunity to look at county entities, that is parastatals in the county. And as I said, with all this, we are also fast tracking to start dealing with the current reports. That is from the year ended 2023 upwards. So we are here to support you, Governor. We are not here to intimidate governors when they appear before us. We just want your cooperation, and I'm happy you cooperated with us on this, even though these queries were for the previous regime. Members of the media, Governor has raised concern that last time he was here, out of the deliberation in this committee, there was misreporting on his appearance. I want to urge you to be very factual and report matters as they are, especially for governors who are coming to respond on issues that touch on the former governors. I think you need to be very factual on that, so that we don't have complaints like that coming to this committee, that the committee, it is not the committee that reports, it is the media that reports, but media being a very key partner in this process, we can only ask you to give fair coverage of these proceedings so that we report matters factually as they are discussed in this committee. Honorable members, because of time, we will end up there and adjourn until Monday at 10 a.m. with, is it Homa Bay? Homa Bay County. Monday at 10 a.m. In the meanwhile, the clerk, please write a letter to Senate clerk about the suitability of this venue. Thank you very much, and God bless.